So I watch a lot of fan edits. I watch a lot of, those clips you find on YouTube or TikTok about, on movies and series, right? And I think a lot of the times those clips do a lot of promotional work for the movie and the series because I have seen some fan edits that made me go and look up the show, that made me go search for that show or that movie. So fan edits work wonders, right? But what would you consider the most integral part of a fan edit? Right? What would you consider the most emotional, stimulating part? I don't, for lack of a better word, for me is the music, right? Of course, the way the video editing is done is also very important. But for me, the music helps. The background music of fan edits is one of the highlights of watching those fan edits and those little clips of movies and series that I love and enjoy. And even for those that I do not know, the music can make me, and the edit and the way it's edited can make me go and search up, you know, the movie to watch it fully and all that. And so this brings me to my topic today about background music, right? So I'm going to connect it briefly to our lives, right? In recent times, because of social media, we have so much access to people's lives, right? And when you watch these beautiful clips of people's lives, and this is not to say that people do not have beautiful lives, but when you watch these clips, what is the one thing that is ubiquitous, right, in those videos? It's the music. It's the music, and the music is emotional. It's attractive, it's intense, and it just makes you feel some sort of way, right? And and there was the other time I was scrolling online and I saw this TikTok video of a very unesthetic background, right? Like most of our homes, right? It's not aesthetic at all, but the music made it look almost beautiful, almost like it made it look almost nostalgic, the music and the editing. And so I just want to remind us, right, that as we scroll online, as we go through and view people's lives online and all these beautiful videos, that we should realize that it's the music, okay? It's the music, right? And this is not to say, as I've said before, that people's lives are not beautiful, but sometimes we can get carried away and start wishing for another life. And it's great, especially if your life is not the best. It's great to want something more and to work towards it. But it's also very commendable to cultivate a sense of um should I say, what's the word? I'm sorry, a sense of contentment with where we currently are while we work towards what we want. It's natural and it's great to do so, especially if you are not living in a place that is, horrible and putting your health and life at risk. It's okay to be content. Okay? I just want us to keep in mind that the music affects our mood. The music makes things more emotionally charged than they are, more attractive than they are. Like if you watch horror movies, right? The background music or the score, whatever it's called, it adds to the tension. Many times when I watch movies and I'm really scared and apprehensive, I just turn it down and watch it without sound first, and then when I see what jump scares are lying in wait for the audience, I can go back and rewatch it with sound. Okay. So music matters a lot. And as someone who shares her life a lot on my WhatsApp, on my WhatsApp status, I I use the music also a lot. I use the music that is provided a lot. Like, and I know how powerful it is because I can even change the way I feel about my life by just, making some edits and putting a background music, and maybe not change per se, but I can even heighten the emotions around a particular memory by just uploading a snippet and with music alongside. So let's just keep that in mind, that music affects the way that we perceive other people's lives, that other people's lives that are shared online. Music affects the way that we ourselves perceive it. So how can we bring this to our own lives? We can share them also with music. We can use music as, the background of our mundane moments, right? We can use music to heighten the way that we perceive and observe a particular moment in time. Altogether, this is just a reminder that the world that we view through our screens are heavily edited, and that the music that accompany the moments that we see in people's lives affects us. It influences how we perceive their lives. And maybe we can watch people's lives and be inspired. Yes, it's possible to watch someone else's life and be inspired. But if it is breeding a sense of discontent in our own lives, and our lives are not necessarily bad, and we are doing all we can to improve and get to where we want to go, then we should just realize that, it's not a perfect, like what we are viewing is not perfect, right? And this reminds me of when I was writing, I was working on a time travel story involving Jesus. And it just made me think that, many times when we think about the story of Jesus, and we think about Bible stories, and we see movies about, Jesus and all that pertains to faith, before momentous events, for the miracles happen, if we are watching that on screen, before the miracle, the big thing happens, there will be all these notes and music. I don't know the musical terms, but there will be this build up, like whatever the piano and the instruments are going to build up, like it's gonna build up until the the crucial moment, or until the peak where the miracle happens and whatnot, right? But in real life, there's no background music, so it's not going to be as cinematic, right? It's not going to be as cinematic. So yeah, that was just something I was toying with. That was just a thought process I was toying with. Like, the real life events, will not be as cinematic as the movies, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. I love music for what it does to us, and how it can help us process our thoughts and process our emotions and be happy and whatnot. Music, overlaying someone else's highlights, it really can make you have a distorted view of life if you let it. Not everyone, obviously, but if you let it, you can start thinking of other people's lives as this perfect movie, and yours as, like, I don't know, something behind the scenes, or the parts that are cut out of the main movie. But if you just make the practice of taking moments of your days and and overlaying them with music once in a while, you will find out that you can also create that moment for yourself. And I'm not encouraging us to be disingenuous or whatever, but yeah, I'm just encouraging us to find the beauty in mundane moments, and to realize that everyone's life, like no one's life is 100% perfect, right? Anyway, that's all. That's all my rambling for today. For now, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.